Okay, sorry you guys. I literally do not know what just happened. It literally just went black. Like just I don't know. What's crazy though is when I went back live, it's literally having everything the same. Like I started a brand new live stream and it tells me how much super chats I have, how many people I have in the stream, how many likes I have. It says I have 49 likes. Some people are saying that they cannot find me. Can you guys find me? Well, never mind. You guys can. I hope everybody can find me. That really sucks. It actually shows me still on for both of them. That's really weird. I'm going to go back into the old one. I don't know why it's not working. Yes, exactly. I'm still showing that there's 36 people in the old one. Yes, Amanda, you are. Oh, I'm eating combos. I'm sorry. Lacey Leverett, are you here? I'm so sorry. I'm trying to tell them. I'm trying to tell them. I'm in the new chat, the old chat, saying, "Hey, I have a new stream up," and everybody's like, "What's going on?" I have no idea. My phone literally just went black. I thought it went dead, and I was like, "Oh my god, my phone went dead." And but it's on charge. But I thought maybe somehow it wasn't charging right. But I clicked out. I'm just gonna have to exit out of that. Someone's like, call it a night, maybe. Hey, y'all, I know I'm late, but has anybody heard about XYZ? I've told them several times. I'm on a new one, you guys. I'm on a new one, you guys. All right, I'm gonna go over to the new chat. Yes, we're gonna pick right back up where we left off. I'm so sorry. Let's see how many people's on there's still 26 people in the old chat. Hopefully they'll find me. Actually, I'm just picking right back up where we left off, and I'm just gonna finish this chapter 15 out, and then we'll call it a night. Yeah, they are still chatting. Somebody was like, I know I'm late and I know we're covering Chris White, but have you guys heard about what David Eason done? Maybe they fell asleep. Maybe so. Maybe so. Okay, so double dipping. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how the other one is still up. Honestly, I don't. It is showing that I'm still live. It was actually something that David accused him of a while back. I don't know if maybe it's just coming back out there again. Okay, so we're on chapter 15. David accused Nathan of like messing around with like a 10-year-old or something. That was put out there a while back. There's no evidence of that being true that I've ever heard of. David claims that Janelle told it to him. There's no arrest, no reports. It's never been mentioned who this 10-year-old could have been. So I think it's just David. I think it's just David, you know, trying to stir up drama. I don't know for sure how old Nathan is, but probably around my age, maybe. I'm 32, so I really don't know. I could not even be the judge of that. Okay, so chapter 15, we are talking about the text messages that was in Shanann's phone. How she spoke with one of her friends through a text message saying that Chris's family, his mom and his dad, like his sister more. They prefer her kids more. They're closer to his sister and her kids. And that basically Chris is like chopped liver to them. They talk about how she blocked them on social media because she's like done with his family. They've always mistreated her and her children. She tells her friend that she never wants to see his parents again. The friend asked Shanann if she's got all her messages. The friend, Shanann says she did and that it's been a rough day. The friend asked why. And then they discuss possibly a home. And a friend says that they did not want to be in their home for any longer than a month, as they do not want to put them out. I don't know what that's talking about. This book is kind of, if you don't know some of this info, it really kind of confuses you. Like, I don't know what that particular text would have been about. Shanann sends a text that she said she sent to Christopher about the incident in North Carolina between her and his parents about their children. Shanann is not sorry for what she said to his mother and says that she loves her kids. Shanann then also addresses the distance between her and Chris in a text. She texts, "From the day I left you, you never said I missed you before I said it. Something's changed. When I left, you may be happier alone. That's fine. You can be alone. This pregnancy, you have failed to acknowledge it or to even acknowledge how I'm feeling. The first trimester is the scariest and most dangerous. Yet we could lose this baby at any point till delivery. I'm not going to be treated this way for having the balls to protect our family and the kids. I should get a gold effing medal for handling it the way that I did, because I had a lot of choice words I wanted to say to her and your dad for his stupidity. No one stands up to your mom and your dad for that. He's just as guilty by not doing anything. I have nothing to do with him. Stop sharing memories of his grandkids. What does that have to do with me? I am their mother and will protect them. I have enough to worry about with the world out there. I'm going to worry about family. I'm not going to worry about your family. I'll just remove it." Shanann told her friend that this is what she texted Chris in the middle of the night. Her friend asked, "What did Chris say?" And Shanann said that he said nothing. And then she said he replied that he loves his kids. He asked Shanann if the kids could come see his parents, and she told him no. She said she is standing her ground, that they made no contact in 4 weeks, no show for her party, said nothing for her birthday. Friend replied that she is shocked that Christopher has not said a word about what she said to him, that he needs to open up and talk to Shanann about everything, clear the air, work on it, and then work on the issues with his parents. Shanann says that she's been trying to talk to him for days and that he has said he's not saying anything in return. Um, Shanann basically says she's not going to be ignored and not loved. Shanann texts her friend saying that Chris is going to be going to his parents' house tomorrow. The friend suggests that they talk with someone when they get home. Friends suggest they talk with someone when they get home, as throwing away what they have together is not okay. Shanann says she cannot and will not fight alone. She needs a man that has the balls to protect his family, even when it comes to his own blood. She says he is completely different from the guy she has known for the past 8 years. She said she would not change a thing and called herself a saint for not telling his mom that she's a narcissistic, stupid bitch, and just said they were done and never coming back. They discussed that they will see each other Friday and that they would split the room. Shanann says she is dizzy, lightheaded, nauseous. She then says that she has not pooped in weeks due to constipation. Shanann sends a screenshot of her flight itinerary. It gives the details here. Shanann replies to Chris. Shanann says that they were heading to his grandmother's house, and then she was taking the girls as he goes to his parents. Friends asked if he was going to talk with them about the issue and work it out. Shanann replied, "Who knows? You can't protect someone you're not in love with anymore. He doesn't have the balls." Shanann tells her friends that his parents do not love him the way he loves them, and that he is wanting their love and attention so much and they do not give it to him. He is seeking their approval, according to Shanann. Shanann tells friends that he is so cold and not the guy that she has been with for the past 8 years. Friends tell Shanann that she talked with her husband and he wanted to try to talk to Christopher, but wouldn't, because then Christopher would know that Shanann was sharing information about what was going on between them. Shanann texts, "I told him I don't know who this person is, but the person I left 7 weeks ago would have answered differently. Why are you married to me? Because we love each other." He says that's all. He said that's all he can think of to say at the moment. I told him why I married him and why I'm still married to him. I said, "You love me because I'm the mother of your kids. You love me because I'm the mother of your kids. You're not in love with me." I told him I think he enjoyed the single life too well, and that I think he realized that he prefers to be alone. He's not in love with me. A person still madly in love can find a way to say. He responded, "I don't want to lose my kids." I walked away in tears because I couldn't take it anymore. If you're done, don't love me, don't want to work this out, not happy anymore, and only staying because of the kids, I need you to tell me. There was also a screenshot of text from the right side. Apparently the sender was Shanann. And then she says, "I don't know how you fell out of love with me in 5 weeks, or if this has been going on for some time. But you don't plan another baby if you're not in love. Kids don't deserve a broken family. When I left, you could not take your hands off me. Then you show up and I practically have to ask for a kiss at the airport. Being away from you is not the help I missed because I handled that. It was exhausting, but with school not that hard, I miss the smell of you, watching TV with you. I miss staring at you. I miss making love with you. I missed everything about you. I couldn't wait to touch you, hold you, kiss you, make love to you, smell you, laugh." Shanann says she texted him the previous night before, after she couldn't take it anymore. She told her friend that she knows he's not good with conflict and avoids it at all costs, and is better at writing his feelings than talking with them at times. Shanann planned to see how he was that night. She told her friends that she told him life was about making tough choices and he could not fight for someone he does not love. She told him he was going to have to step out of his comfort zone and defend and protect his family. Shanann said all he said was that he knew. You guys, if you read this book, like, I'm almost reading it, so I don't know. Good night, Jubes. Um, so on August 7th, 2018, a friend asked Shanann how Christopher was at his parents' house. Shanann texted, it was a long story, and said she was on her way to the airport and she would call her tomorrow. Shanann texted a friend a photo of a house for sale and, hey, discuss mortgage issues as friend has a foreclosure on her history. Shanann shares that Celeste is 37 pounds and Bella is 40 pounds. This is literally what's it. I'm going to read this to you guys. The way that it's set up, it is, these are the text messages, right? It'll say the date, and then it's supposed to tell you the text message. It says, August 8th, 2018, Shanann texts friend a photo of a house for sale and, hey, discuss mortgage issues as friend has a foreclosure on her history. Shanann shares that Celeste is 37 pounds and Bella is 40 pounds. 8/8/2018, friend asks how the ultrasound went. 8/8/2018, Shanann replies, he said we were not compatible anymore. He refused to hug me, said he thought another baby would fix his feelings, said he refused couples counseling. 8/8/2018, friend said that was a load of shit, and Shanann said she couldn't take it anymore. She said that he had a lot of time to reflect his feelings, and that he said a few months, Shanann did not get it. She said that he has never called her Shanann until this week. She told her their other friends knows. Shanann said she wants to know what effing changed, and there were no signs of anything wrong. Zero. There was sex all the time, talking, going places, doing things. He just says he doesn't feel it anymore. Shanann asked her friend how she could make him feel compatible again. Friend asks if there is someone else, and she replies, he says no. Shanann asks if she should call Mark to talk with him, stating that he talks. Friend tells her she can. Shanann apologized and said that Bella came into her bed and did not even ask where Chris was. She thinks Bella senses she is in pain. 8/12/2018. Shanann sends a list of counselors to a friend. 8/13/2018. Friend texts Shanann asking how she's doing. No reply. 8/13/2018. Friend texts Shanann that she's worried. No reply. Group text between Shanann and two friends. A friend texts Shanann and another friend and asks if they would still be her friend if she lived in Boulder. After 6 texts about that, Shanann asked one friend to tell her the gender of the baby, saying she needs happy news. They arranged for her to tell Shanann in person, and the other friend wants to FaceTime it with them. Shanann tells a friend to come early and that she is up at 6. The friend asks what time Christopher leaves. Shanann replied, dude, I need sex. Dude, I need sex. Come whatever in the AM, just not at 11. Friend asks why not at 11. Shanann replies too long with a laughing emoji. They agreed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Good night, Monica. Shanann texts one of her other friends to let her know the reveal party is canceled. She tells them not to slip on Facebook as she does not want anyone to know right now because then Chris will know and she wants him to want to know. One of the friends replied, F him, yep, I said it. Shanann replied, please no, he doesn't deserve to know. He doesn't want it, jackass, he's an effing liar. He said, I think it would be great having another one. He wanted this, he started the conversation. You don't get me pregnant and not love me. What's that going to do? Friend encourages Shanann, stating that she is one of the strongest people she knows and knows she will get through this. Shanann replied, F him, I'm nowhere near perfect, but I love unconditionally. I gave my all. I do so much as a mom and a wife, more than 90% of the women out there. This effing sucks so bad because I do love him and his effing flaws. Friend encourages Shanann, and Shanann replies, this was a total slap in the face, stab in the back. I can't afford 3 kids alone in Colorado. Both friends encouraged Shanann, and she told them both she loved them. They started talking about friend and her husband moving into the house with Shanann. Shanann said the house is in Christopher's name. They discussed the courts would make them sell it before he would get it. They encouraged Shanann further. Shanann replied about relieving some stress with a laughing face. Shanann said that when she asked Chris for a hug and to hold her tonight for a minute, he said he couldn't right now. Shanann said that he's not there right now. Shanann sends a screenshot of what appears to be her texting Christopher. Do you want to find out together with me tonight on the baby's gender? Yes. And Shanann loved his reply. Please take 5 minutes today to tell me how you are feeling. I love you, Christopher, more than you know. Shanann texts that she offered it to him this morning and told her friends, I need us to work. And if he's wanting to know with me, I'm willing to wait. Can you put it in another envelope? I'd love to see you still. Okay, so chapter 16 is Chris's first official interview. What are you guys thinking? I know it's getting late. Do you guys want to stop it right here, pick back up maybe tomorrow night? Or what do you guys want to do? Read more? Tomorrow? If you guys want, I could do one more chapter and then cut it off. Keep going. Okay. We'll do chapter 16. Okay. So chapter 16 is Chris's first official interview. So he felt a lot of anger, something he says he had not felt before. But that was the only emotion he felt. He says he never felt remorse. Originally, when talking to CBI, he said in his confession that he killed Shanann in a blind rage. Chris now says that there was no rage. He was angry with Shanann over her not allowing him to see his family. When talking to authorities, even when talking about his children, he felt nothing for them. He says it did not register with him that his family was gone. It's not normal that a person never felt anger in his life, but Chris says that until that morning, he never felt the emotion of anger. While growing up, he said he never got into fights, never got in any kind of trouble. It says here that Christopher actually showed signs of, I'm not even for sure how to pronounce this, alexithymia. I don't know. It's the inability to express emotions and to understand others' emotions. On August 14th, around 7 p.m., the police conducted their first official interview with Chris. Sometimes Chris's answers were not really coherent, yet this is the actual interview. I was asking you guys if you wanted me to do one more. That's what I was asking. Okay, so this is the recording of the interview. The agent introduces himself. Christopher says hello and introduces himself. So, agent, hey, good to meet you. Thanks for coming in. I'm from the FBI. Christopher, okay. Agent, just saying thank you for your willingness to help. Start from the beginning. Please include everything that you can remember and tell us what happened. Chris, okay. Agent, so this way you write it down. We have it forever. We can say, hey, where do you think they would go? And you're going to be like, well, I don't know. And we'll say, oh, well, wait. Is it possible that we sit here, something we can look at later, so we find it to be very, very helpful? Chris, okay. Agent, so do you mind writing everything down for us? Chris, yeah. Agent, and then I'll give you as much time as you need. Chris, okay. Agent, in fact, I'm going to go give these to a few other people while you're doing that, if that's all right. Chris, okay, but the agent, you'll be all right in here alone? Chris, oh yeah. Just like start from when she got home? That? Okay, yeah. Times and everything? Agent, yes, yes, everything. Chris, yeah. Agent, you can remember. Chris, gotcha. Agent, Yeah, and then I'm going to let you do this. Is that all right? Chris, yes. Agent, cuz. Chris, can I put my name up here? Agent, yeah, please. Chris, feels like I'm in high school again. Agent, name, date, yeah. I'm going to make sure that we get these to as many people as we possibly can. Sorry, you guys. I'm literally reading this the way that it is. Christopher wrote out his accounts of the morning of August 13th. The FBI agent sat face to face and asked him some questions. Agent, okay, Chris, let's get started. We have a few questions for you now. Thank you for your written statement. Chris, okay. Agent, why was it such a big deal to Shanann's friend that she wasn't available? Chris, because if she doesn't get back to her people, like the people like she works with direct sales, so if she doesn't get back with them, that's strange. Agent, is she typed to answer the phone? Chris, for them, yes. Agent, like Chris, like all the time. Yeah, it for me, it's just like, hey, you can wait. We'll see you later. So about 12:40, a few more efforts from her friends to reach Shanann while she was there, like outside the house. And at like 1 o'clock, that's when I left, and I was like, all right, I'm on my way down there. 2 o'clock when I got home, because they couldn't get in the house because the front door, the latch was on it to keep the kids in. Agent, who's they? Chris, her friend and the police officer that was there. Agent, okay, right. Chris, and agent, okay, gotcha. Chris, yeah, so they couldn't get in because the top latch of the car, the top latch on the front door was hinged, and the keypad on the outside does not work to get in the garage. So they had to wait till I got there so I could get the remote to open it. 3 o'clock, right up the police officer detective came. Asking Shanann's friend and I questions about where she could have gone or who she could be with. At about 4 o'clock, police officers were there. He was checking the neighborhoods, checking the neighbor's security footage. 5 p.m., the same police officer, detective, and the sergeant, another officer, they showed up. They searched the house again. About 6 o'clock, they've been calling around to anyone that could possibly know something. They called the hospitals, hotels. 7:30, my friends showed up to show support. And from then on, just friends are showing up. At 10, it's pretty much when I laid down. But I didn't go to bed until like 2 a.m. just because I was fielding texts and calls all night long. And I was just hoping. I left all the lights in the house. I was just hoping that I get a knock on the door. But nothing happened. Agent, what do you think? Chris, at first I really thought maybe she was just at somebody's house, decompressing. Agent, just blowing off steam. Chris, yeah. But after today, like on the onslaught of all the cars, the police cars on the news, the K9 unit, making me lean in another direction about someone took her. But this is, if someone took her, it would have had to have been someone she knew because there was no sign of anything like being disturbed or broken. But like, that's just the way I'm thinking right now. At first, I thought, for real, she's just decompressing somewhere, even though everything in the house was left there. But now it's just, after that, today with all the news crews and everything, it feels more in the other direction, and it's freaking me out because I have no idea where they are. Agent, okay, if you could think of anything that we could do to find them, what would it be? Chris, everything that I've exhausted so far is like people that have car seats, because she left the car seats, and she would never just, Bella could sit in a regular booster seat, because she's at about that time. Celeste, she's not quite there yet. All the people that I know that have car, they've contacted me. Unless it's, there's somebody, a chance of somebody, I don't know, being a guy or a girl, I don't know. She has plenty of friends through like her direct sales that I've never met. They could have a kid that she could, I don't know, just say, hey, let's go. Let's just open the back, let's put them in, let's go. But I wouldn't have a name. I wouldn't know who they were. And this is like, that's what's driving me crazy. Like, what I told the news crews was like, if she's out there, just like, please come home. Like, who are you? If someone has her, or like, not just her, but if she's at somebody's house and she's just decompressing, it's time to come back. With not it, this is real. This has gotten to a different level. Agent, absolutely. Okay. Do you have any inkling of if it's good or bad? He literally rambles so much. Chris, yesterday I would have thought that she was safe and it was good. That she would have been, that she'd come home. Today it's more of on the other side. I don't know that she would let it get this far if she was just decompressing somewhere. I mean, she's not talking to anybody. As far as, I mean, of the people I've reached out to that I haven't talked to in like a year that are friends with her, like one of her best friends lives in Florida. She works with the police department down in Miami. She called me today. Like, that's one of her friends she would confide in. So, agent. And she hasn't heard anything? Nothing. Agent. Nobody's heard anything? Chris. Like her parents, I mean, she doesn't like talking to her mom, but still, her mom calls her enough that she would at least answer once. Agent. Yeah, and if she, I mean, I'm married. I know how it is. If she hacked off at her husband, she would call her mom. Chris. She would call one of her friends that's contacted me. At least one of them, because she has a close-knit group. But then the fact that none of them know anything is very strange, because one of them would have said something by now, seeing what this has escalated to. Agent. Agent, is it possible that our close-knit group isn't close with you and there's somebody who knows where she is right now? Chris, I don't think so, because, I mean, her friends that was at the house looking for her, she's very close with her. And the way she was acting, as far as emotional, she'd get there, there's no way, like, she knows. Agent, what does this mean? Chris, there's, like, no way she wouldn't know where she is if she knew. Chris, so you're saying if her friend knew, Chris, yeah. She knew, like, the way she's acting right now, she's as freaked out as I am. So there's no way, like, she knows where she is and she's just not telling. Agent, do you know? Do you know her friend that well? Chris, decent. She's been over to our house a good amount of times. Agent, do you get any weird feelings from her friends? Chris, no, she was there at the house. Okay, she was the one ringing the doorbell trying to see what was going on. Agent, okay, do you have a sense that the police, her or the FBI here, do you have a sense that we have a good enough list of people to call and check with? Chris, I think so, because I've gone through my entire phone. I know her friend that was there has gone through her entire phone. Anybody that lives here that knows Shanann, they pretty much have the same contact list. So if there's somebody that's not on my phone, it's on theirs. Agent, okay, has somebody, I think the police have her phone. I'm sorry, your wife's phone, right? Chris, yes. Agent, I don't want to say her name wrong. Shanann? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the police have Shanann's phone. Yes. Do they have your phone? Have they looked through your phone? Chris, I don't think so. Agent, okay, can I run that out and have a look real quick? Chris, yeah. Agent, okay, is there a password that I'm going to run into? Chris, 3387. Agent, 3307. Chris, 3387. Agent, 3387. Chris, mm-hmm. Is there any other phones that we can check? Chris, mm-mm. Okay, when they look at this, what's the best thing that they can do? I don't know, say look for contacts, look for this Instagram, look for Snapchat, you know. Chris, so like the only thing that's on there that I was going to say is going to be weird because our contact list is the same. Agent, okay, so you guys shared contacts. Chris, yeah, like every agent, like through Google. Chris, yeah, like it's like all what drove me nuts is that she like got all into iCloud it multiplied or duplicated. Agent. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. Yeah. Chris. Yeah. So this is the same person over and over again. Agent. 10 people over. Okay. Chris. So we have the same contact list. Agent. Okay. So I'm going to run this out. Chris. Okay. Agent. So 33 Chris 87. Agent 3387. And I really want them to just not physically rip this phone apart, but really dive in. Chris, okay. Agent, so you're okay with that? Chris, yeah. Agent, so let's continue on. There's this whole shoe closet. Chris, no. Agent, she was preparing for this type of activity. Okay. Chris, and the girls, the kids' clothes too. There wasn't enough that was there that I saw missing. Agent. Okay, so all right. So I know it's hard to talk about. You mentioned there was like a hard conversation the two of you had. Chris, separation? Agent, your marriage and separation. Now that you've had a little bit of time to think, looking back on that conversation, can you connect the dots between both of you being upset and crying and here we are now and the kids being gone? What do you think about that? Chris, I think about like that I caused this. Like, did I make her feel like she needed to leave? And like, did she really like the things she was saying? Did she really feel the same? Did she really feel like, right? Did this connection, did she really feel all, or that she's just saying it? Like maybe like us falling out of love. Was that really registering with her at the time? Or did it register after I left to go to work? And then she's just like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. It's like, and I'm not, she lay back down. She was still there when I left. But it's like maybe she sat there and thought about it. Like, do I really need to stay here right now? He doesn't love me. Maybe I should just go. Can you really get in, agent, can you really get into that conversation with me? Like, what I want to know is, you obviously had a very deep relationship with her. She's your wife. But it's going to be easy for me to listen to what that was said and maybe think there's some clues. I mean, she just laid down and cried a little bit longer and then something happened to her. Maybe she did get frustrated and she left. So can we recreate that conversation? Chris, Agent, so tell me what happened. So I crawled back into bed. I'm sorry, let's start from when she gets home. Let's start at that point. Okay, so she got home at 2 a.m. You were already home? Yes, I was passed out. So like I felt her get into bed. That was about it. About 4 a.m., that's when my alarm went off. I wake up to get ready for work. That's when I got ready and everything. So she gets home at 2 a.m. Alarm goes off at 4. And you were sleeping the whole time? Oh, yeah. Okay. So the conversation hasn't started. No. So when my alarm goes off, that's when I tried to get ready for work. I crawled back into bed and we had that conversation. Agent. So you wake up at 4? Chris. Agent. From at 4, then what? Until you start the conversation. Chris. I get dressed, get my clothes on, brush my teeth, get a drink, all that kind of stuff. Agent. Okay. So a shower? Chris. No. Agent. Okay. Chris. Shower like the night before. Agent. What do you do for a living? Chris. I work in oil and gas. Agent. Okay. So then it doesn't matter if you go to work without a shower. Okay. Chris. No, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be bad anyway. Agent. Yeah. So then you wake up, you get ready. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Chris, you're fine. So then what time were you talking about when you're ready to talk with her? Chris, about 4:15. Okay. So she was asleep from the time she got in around 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Chris, Agent, you wake up at 4. 4:15 you're ready. And at 4:15 you start talking. Chris, Agent, why did you talk at 4:15 in the morning? Chris, I felt like I needed to talk to her face to face because like I wanted to say something much. I like when she was in Arizona, like I didn't want to do it through text and I wouldn't want to do it through call. So like when I got back in bed, like I needed to talk to her about it because she loved me. She told me she was going to fly back and she wanted me to wake her up so she could take a shower. She wanted to get the airport off of her. Agent, what does that mean? Chris, when she flew back in. Agent, from Phoenix? Chris, yes. Agent, okay. She told you, let's have a talk? Chris, no. She wanted she wanted to get up with me so she could take a shower to get the airport off of her. Because she was like, her flight was delayed. Her flight was supposed to get in at like 11, but it didn't leave until 11. Agent, okay. So did she call you or did she text you? Chris, I think there was a call on that one. Agent, all right. So at 4:15, what happens? Chris, that's when I crawled back in bed. I woke her up, and then obviously I talked to her about how I was feeling and how I felt like what's been going on with us for the last what she seemed like in the last 6 weeks, because she was in North Carolina, I was down there just like the last week, but from what just being apart and just like figuring out who people are is like the best, honestly, like the best way for people to really find out who they are is to spend time apart. Agent, I agree. Chris, and she kind of just like, you need to see for yourself and all. And then on the last week when I went back to North Carolina and I was there for the last week there and we were together, we could feel like it wasn't there, that spark. I know that sounds cliche, but that spark wasn't there anymore. And on the night, I told her early that morning, I told her like the disconnection. It's there. It's like not going away. Like the connection we had when in the beginning is not there anymore. Cause like I don't feel like the love we had was there anymore. And it was just like I didn't feel like, I mean, if we want to stay together for the kids, I'm not sure that's going to work. And that's what you told her? Chris, yeah. Like having another baby, bringing this into a relationship. Do you think this is going to work with us being together or separating? I think that's going to be the best possible route for us. And that's when like all the crying and everything proceeded. And it just got very hard just to talk about that. But I needed to do it face to face. And I needed to see her face while I couldn't text phone, whatever. I needed to be face to face and be able to see her and know that she was at least going to be reciprocating back to me. Agent, what did she say? Chris, she said that I was mean. She wanted to kind of work on it. But if that's the way I was feeling, then she respected that. And she said that most of the time when you have kids and you have a relationship where people like they don't love each other, where they fall out of love, disconnection, that having kids, even bringing a new baby into the equation, doesn't usually work. It's like, it almost is like better if it was different sides. Like you don't want to spend your whole marriage just like each other faking it for the kids. I mean, you don't want to be the people parading around with like a mask on when their kids are around, and then when the kids go to sleep, you go your separate ways. Like that's what I don't want. That's why we were talking about separation that night. And that's why I got so emotional right there. Agent, okay, emotional for you too? Chris, Agent, what did you say about the house? Chris, like we needed to sell the house. Like there's no way that we could stay in this house and have another kid. And being able to just keep everything afloat. And she was like, well, where do you want to move? And I was like, we could move to Brighton or we can move wherever area. Okay, so it was Brighton. We can move to Longmont. We can move like, wherever. So much cheaper. And she was like, well, because she already contacted the realtor the week before to see what she thought. And I was like, I actually contacted the realtor that day. Like, well, it's pretty much probably around 8 o'clock that day. And that's where like, if we can get the ball rolling, like, see what she thought. Agent, so you say your wife called the realtor the week before. Chris, emailed her. Agent, okay, so then this conversation early in the morning wasn't a shock to either of you. Chris, no. Agent, or a surprise, it was the next step. Chris, yeah. It was like on its way. Like a big thing that we had, like, it was just like, that's what it was. It would hit, that's why it was just an emotional conversation. Like, because it wasn't just like, oh, it come out of nowhere, left field type of thing. Like, we know, like, something wasn't, we knew about what we wanted to do with the house. We knew, like, what's going on with it, really. We knew something was. Agent, okay. Is it accurate to say then the time you were away from each other when she was in North Carolina, the time she was in Arizona, maybe the two of you knew that that could have been time you were taking, and so when you finally got together, it was we couldn't wait another second. We're gonna have this talk. Chris, Agent, is that right? Okay, now tell me if that's wrong. Chris, no, you're right. Agent, okay. So then conversation starts at 4:15. You talk about each other and your marriage. You talk about the house, and then what? Chris, that's when the conversation ended, and we talked. That's when she said that she was going to go to her friend's house or take her and the kids to a friend's house. Agent, okay, so let's, if we're going to play the DVR, let's rewind 5 minutes. We're at the house. You're talking about the house. You're saying it isn't going to work with the kids. You're going to sell the house. Then how do you remember what led to her talking about the kids? Chris, as far as her taking them to a friend's house? Agent, yeah, like what conversation led to that? Chris, that's when I rolled out of bed, and that's when she pretty much told me, like, I'm taking the kids to a friend's house, and I'll be back later. I'm not sure why she had somewhere to go. I'm not sure why she had to go somewhere, but that's what she wanted. Like, maybe she didn't want to be in the house after what we were just talking about. Agent, fair enough. You just talked about it, yeah? It's no longer mentally, emotionally her house then, right? Okay, so let's just focus on I'm going to take the kids to my friend's house. What does that mean? Chris, hopefully someone that she trusts. Hopefully it's someone that she knows pretty well, and hopefully maybe they had a kid that Bella Celeste can play with. That's when I went downstairs, make my protein shake, get my lunch, everything ready because I got to get to work. Agent, and this is somewhere around 5. Chris, 5:25. That's when I go out, do my truck, load everything, and at 5:30, or about what the neighbors think. At about 5:26, I'm gone. Agent, and this conversation happened upstairs in the master bedroom. Are you sure that she didn't come downstairs? Chris, like once I was in the garage, I didn't see anything after that. And when I left her car in the garage, Agent, I'm just trying to determine this. I need the times she disappeared. And then so from 5:30, then what? Chris, that's when I went to work. And then at 7:40, the next time I text her, I was like, I hadn't heard from her, and I was just seeing if she knew, like seeing where she went, and asked if she could tell me where she was taking the kids. Okay. Then all the way, what happened between 7:40 and noon? Chris, I was working. I was outside working. Agent, okay, noon, text Shannon to call me, and that's going to be in your phone too. Okay, 12:10, doorbell visitor. Chris, that's when Shanae's friend was at the door, and it pinged on my phone. Agent, okay, so what is she doing there? Like 10 minutes later, you called the friend to see what's going on, and she told me she couldn't get a hold of Shanae either, and their shoes were next to whose shoes? Shanae's shoes? Chris, yep. Agent, were next to the door, and her car was in the garage next to the door, inside or outside? Chris, inside. There's like a little small rectangular window next to the door. You can see right in there. Agent, okay, so you see what we're trying to do? We're trying to be like, did she walk out? Was she taken? Then it makes sense that her shoes were still right there, but she's obviously not wearing those shoes. Okay, all right, keep going. Look, 12:40. A few more efforts by a friend to reach out. How do you know? Chris, because that is when she was still at the front door, and I was trying to reach her at the front door. My mouth is getting dry. So the agent, at 1 p.m., I'm on my way home to check on my family. That's because you're worried. Based on the conversation, and the police have contacted you by then. Chris, no. Her friend said she was going to contact the police, though. Her friend was freaking out. I mean, she for her not to get back to her friends, that's not normal, because she gets tons of messages throughout the day from direct sales. If she doesn't get back to me, I just assume she's busy. Agent, so you get to the house. Shanae, Bella, and Celeste are not in the house. Shanae's wedding ring is on her nightstand. Her phone's on the couch. Her purse is still there. The medicine for your kids is still there. The car with the car seats are still there. There's no sign of them. Frederick police officer and detectives are asking her friends and I questions about where she could have gone or who she might be with. How did that go? Chris, we tried to go through from what we could gather, where she could have gone. As far as I could, what we saw in the house didn't really make sense. But that's when we were just calling, started to look through her phone, just kind of called around. Once we found the phone and her friend knew what the passcode was, I can see what transpired. And obviously there was 50 something text messages that had came because her phone was off. Why was it off? Why was it not with her? Agent, weird, right? Because you're saying that she does a ton of exiting, marketing, and sales and calling certain people back. Okay, how would it turn off? Chris, you'd have to turn it off. Agent, is that right? Chris, yeah. Agent, and I'm walking myself through this. You tell me, no, that's not what happened. Chris, no, I mean, for her not to get back to her friends, that's not normal. Because, she gets tons of messages throughout the day from direct sales. If she doesn't get back to me, I just assume she's busy. Agent, okay. I'm on my way home to check on my family. 2 p.m. I arrive home, open the garage door. How? Chris, I have my button. It's in my truck. Shanae's wedding ring is agent. It's on her nightstand. Her phone is on the couch. Her purse is still there. The medicine for the kids is still there. The car is in the garage and the car seats are still there. Shanae's friend says she's going to call the cops. Okay, all right. Now, so it sounds like her friend is pretty worried. More worried than you. Chris, once she couldn't get anything out of her and nothing was going on at the house, I was like, I gotta go home. I wasn't worried because, if she doesn't text me back, I'm just she's busy. I understand that. Sometimes that happens. But for her not to get back to her direct sales group, that's very unorthodox. Agent. Okay, so let's talk about her phone. Did you turn it off or did she? Chris, I don't know. I guess she did because it was at 50% or so, I think. Agent, are you sure? And was it on the couch? Chris, So usually it's not. Usually it's right by her nightstand. That's where she usually keeps it. It's weird that it was sitting on the couch cushion, right there. Agent, okay. So can we back up a tiny bit? You come home, no one's been in the house. Okay, no one could get in the house. Is that right? Yes, unless you have the garage door opener. When I got there, the police was there. Shanae's friend and her son and the police. Okay, so is there anything weird about the friend or her son? Not that I can think of. Do you think anything about your wife not being around has anything to do with her friend or her son? I mean, I would hope not. It's one of her good friends. I don't think they could have done, like, I don't think they could have done anything, like, as far as helping her get out and then being so emotional when they couldn't find her. I don't think, like, I don't think they're capable of that. Okay, so then they're home. Police officers are there. Chris, agent. So walk me through that. Chris. So as they go through the house, we're all like, I opened the garage door. I just got to the house. I mean, I'm looking far as I go in the garage door. I'm not looking. I got up there, shake his hand. I'm like opening the garage door at the same time. And then I go through and then they're waiting in the front door. I go and open that up and then they come in. I went in the garage, but they didn't come in the way I did. I ran upstairs. I look in the bedrooms. I go into Bella's room, go into Cece's room, playroom, master bedroom. I'm looking everywhere, like the bathroom, and nothing. Like found the wedding ring right there on the nightstand. She only takes it off if she colors her hair. Actually, she had colored her hair like the week before. Um, that was probably a result of our conversation, I would think. And then her friend's son finds the phone on the couch. Agent, and why did he find her phone on the couch? What was he looking for? Chris, I don't know. He was looking for clues. Like we were walking around looking for clues. He just happened to like run across it right there on the couch, right on the cushion. Saw the so that we told the officer that we found the phone. We turned it in. Her friend knows the passcode because it's a 4-digit passcode. Before it was 6-digit. Um, Agent, and that's 013119. Yeah. How does she know? Maybe she knew it over the weekend because I had never seen that passcode before on her phone. Is that normal to you? No. That she might share a passcode with somebody? I wouldn't think so. Um, do you know for her? Do you know of her to have done that before? No, because she only told me her passcode before. Like, I mean, like her phone's her lifeline. So, all right. So now we're finding the phone. She unlocked the phone. Then what? Waiting for like everything to load up, waiting for all the text messages to pop up, phone calls, missed calls, and we went from there. There were just people that had called asking like, "Are you okay? Where are you?" That type of thing. Agent, okay. So does your gut tell you that Shanann and the kids walked out or that they were taken? Chris, yesterday I would have said that they walked out. Today I would be leaning towards the other direction. Notice he never says, today I'm thinking something bad happened. He always says, I'm leaning towards the other direction. Okay, all right. Who called that evening to check in on her? Did anyone call? Chris, see her mom, talk to my parents, talk to my sister, talk to or text with another friend that lives in New Jersey. Who else? All of our friends. Agent, okay, all right. Can we talk about something that's kind of hard to talk about? So when I work in investigations like this, I like to keep an open mind on everything. And part of keeping an open mind is listening to you talk about your wife and your marriage. And the day she goes missing is the day that you guys have marital discord. So you can understand what I'm thinking about you. What do you think about that? Chris, it makes me sick to my stomach, obviously. Like, I know that I've talked to a few of my friends, and this does not look good on you. I'm like, I know. It's like people that, if people knew that we were having marital issues, they're going to look at me, especially with the way everything looks. It honestly just makes me sick to my stomach because this is something every vantage point. This is something I would never do to my kids or my wife at all. I'm not sure, like, what I could do to make people believe that. Just because like we were having marital discord, they automatically look at me. There's no way I'd harm anybody in my family at all. I know we were having marital discord and we had a conversation that morning as she goes, and we have no idea where she is or the kids. I promise you that is not, I had nothing to do with any of that. Are you telling the truth? I'm telling you the absolute truth. Why should I believe you? Because I'm a very trustworthy person, and people that do know me, They know how I'm a calm person. I'm not argumentative. I'm a person who has never been abusive or physical in any kind of relationship. I would never harm my kids. I would never harm my wife. And you can talk. I mean, you can talk to any of my friends, any of her friends. They know me. They know I'm a low-key guy that's quiet, and I'm not about confrontation. I'm not about anything that elevates to that level. I mean, you can't, like, if someone yells at me or screams at me, I just take it. I just try to get by the wayside and get back to where it's cool, and just a cool conversation is like where none of that, nothing like that gets to that height, because I'm not that type of person. I've never been that person. Okay, so would you take a polygraph? Sure. He comes back the next morning after his dad picks him up, after he picks up his dad, and he took the polygraph and he failed it. So chapter 17, we are at chapter 17, and oh, I'm sure you guys can see, I'm sleeping. So if my hubby and kids were missing, I would die. I would literally die. Um, I couldn't make it. Like, I would literally die. Um, I would not, I don't know. Like, I would literally, like, literally thinking about it. I don't know. Like, the part where she was, like, saying that, when she was gone to visit her parents, like, she missed his smell. She just wanted to hold him. She just wanted to be close to him. Like, that hit hard for me, because I'm like, oh my God, like, with my husband working, he was deployed for a year. He's worked offshore a lot, where he was gone 21 days at a time. So, like, I felt that, like, when your husband's gone a lot, like, that's the way that you feel. Like, you just want to, like, smell him. You just want to, like, lay next to him. And then to know that, like, she's, like, telling him these things, and he just feels nothing. Like, that is so heartbreaking. That's so horrible. Um, One time when Eli was like 3 and Caden was, let's see, 6, we had been playing outside, and I ran inside. I had supper on the stove, so I was like in and out, in and out. And I went inside to like stir it or something, and I come back outside. Eli and Caden were gone. And they had been driving they had those electric trucks, and they've been driving those electric trucks, right? Caden was driving one, Eli was in it with him. And like they were driving around the yard, and I run in the house to like stir the dinner really quick, and I come back out. Literally was gone, not long at all. And I come back out, the truck is just sitting in the driveway, and they're nowhere to be found. I freaked. Like, my brother pulls up as I'm like running around my yard, crying, screaming, hollering for him. And my brother's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "They're missing." I literally, I called the cops. He took off through the town that we lived in, like looking for them. There was a field behind my house, and it had sugar cane. I think maybe it wasn't sugar cane. No, it wasn't sugar cane. It had the the bushes behind my house. It kind of looked like sugar cane. Maybe it was sugar cane. I don't know. You could take the leaves off of it, and it was like these big old cane type things. But they would play back there, and beyond that was a big field, a big pasture, right? So when I went inside, they jumped out of the little trucks and went playing in the bushes back there, and they ended up making it to the other side, found the pasture, and was like running through the pasture playing. So I'm like freaking out. When the cop pulls up, he's like, "What's wrong?" I literally am like freaking out. And then I've been screaming for him, screaming. Finally, I see Caden coming back through the bushes. And I'm like, "Where's your brother? Where's your brother?" Because Eli was like tiny at the time, you know. And he turns around and he goes, I don't know, he was behind me. I literally fell to my knees because Caden was the bigger one, you know. And I felt like, oh my God, he lost Eli while trying to get back to the house, and Eli's too little. He's not going to know how to get back. I remember just when they come out, when Caden come out, me saying, where's Eli? Where's your little brother? And he looks back and he goes, I don't know. And I just, like, I literally just hit the ground sobbing. It was like, oh my God, like, he's not going to be able to find his way back home. And then there he comes out. And I died, though, literally. Like, I just died inside thinking that my kids were missing. I even thought somebody pulled up and got them. Like, I was like, oh my God, I ran inside and somebody seen my kids out here and they stopped and they grabbed them. I was literally... So, yeah, it's terrifying. Terrifying. And all this happened within like 10 minutes. They were gone like 10 minutes. And I I was bawling my eyes out. I caught, like, the police was called. Um, it was just horrible. I even, like, I called the police, hung up, told them to send someone, called my mom, and my mom called my grandmother's house, and everybody come running to my house to, like, help me look for them. By the time they got there, the kids was the, nobody. Don't even worry about that. By the time they got there, I had found the kids, and they was like, get on the cane. They was like, don't you ever go in the bushes. You know, like, if you're out here playing and your mom goes inside, you, like, do not do that. You know, and poor Caden got so upset. He was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, I know, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. Like, I shouldn't have went inside and left you guys out here for a minute. Nothing, you guys. Don't. I know, Emily, it is what it is. I'm not worried about it. But we don't even give attention to that. Um, oh, you're a fur mama. Because I've told you guys this before, but I'm one of those. My husband knows my password too to everything. At any given moment, my husband can check my Facebook. At any given moment, my husband can check anything of mine. I know, Emily. I'm so sorry. I hate that they done that. You're not. They shared screenshots of other people's too. I'm sorry. All we can do is just not really, you know, because if it's talked about, that just gives them more ammunition to make more stuff. So I'm not worried about it. I'm doing so good here lately. Like, my YouTube channel is continuing to grow. I have so much love and support on here. So it's not bothering me a bit. Trust me. I have a lot of people that see it and they reach out to me and they're like, girl, don't pay no mind to it. And I'm like, I ain't. Don't worry. But yeah. Worst feeling in the world, thinking that my babies, I literally thought that maybe they had been stolen because they were just driving their little truck on the, you know, in the driveway. And I step out, come back, and they're gone. And I was like, oh my God, somebody stopped and got them. Like, I died. And then I felt bad because, like, when my family got there, they was like, Caden, you shouldn't have done that. And then Caden's, like, sensitive. So he, like, started crying. And I was like, it's not your fault. It's my fault. I'm a horrible mama. You know, and I was like, I'm such a helicopter mom, though. And, like, my kids don't go stay places. Like, I'm very weird about it. I've always been extremely overprotective to a point sometimes that it's too much. Like, even my kids are like, Mom, you are too much. I'm like, I can't help it. I just love you so much, you know? Yeah. I even got the little leash things. I had two of the teddy bears that had the leashes on them. I do have a P.O. box. Oh my goodness. Walmart. Lost your son in Walmart. That's horrible. I would have died. My eldest hid from in a store. She hid between the clothes racks. My sister went missing for a night when she was 3. Holy crap. Yeah. I once I was really good friends. I will so adopt you. I was really good friends with my neighbors, and they had 2 children, and their kids were really good friends with my kids. So the 2 girls come and stayed at my house one night, and one of the girls got upset at the kids. Like, you know how kids are. Even if they're friends, they get in a little bicker argument or whatever. Well, one of the little girls got into a little argument with, I don't know, maybe, I guess one of my kids or maybe her sister. I don't really know. But they were in the room playing, and the next thing I know, the girl's sister come and tells me, hey, Miss NetNet, my sister said she was going home. And I was like, what? Going home? I was like, no, she can't go home. It was dark time, it was late. So I like go to the bedroom to like go and talk to her and be like, what's wrong? You can't go home. I can call your mom and your mom can come get you if you need her to, but like you can't just, you know. So I go to the room and the little girl is not there. So I'm looking all over the house, can't find her. So then I call her because we lived right, like it was walking distance. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jane. So I call her mom and I'm like, hey, is so and so home? I'm just going to call her Abby. I don't want to put a real name out there. But I'm like, hey, did Abby come home? She was like, wait, what? I was like, uh, I'm like, Kelly, the other sister, we'll call her Kelly. I'm like, all the kids were in the room playing. Kelly just come told me that Abby is mad and was going to go home. So when I went to go talk to Abby, Abby was gone. So I'm assuming she's like coming home. And she's like, what? No, she's not here. And I'm like, all right, well, we need to like go look outside to see if maybe she's walking. I'm like, I'm going to go look out to see if I see her walking your way. So we both go outside looking at each other's house. She's not walking. So her mom and her dad run up to my house. We search all over my house. We're yelling for her. And she hid under the baby bed. She got mad because of the spat, the little situation, the spat that happened. I don't even know who she was arguing with, but her and one of the other kids, they got in this argument. When she said she was going to go home, she ended up walking out of one bedroom, went into the baby's bedroom, and got underneath the baby bed and was hanging out underneath the baby bed. So that is so scary. Baby was 6 months old when she went missing. How? What do you do when your child? What do you do when your child hides from you? I guess it depends on the parent. Michelle, we actually have a hidden compartment in our house too. I'm not going to say what it is, but we have a whole hidden, like, if someone was to break into our house, if we could get to it, we could hide and they could possibly not find us. It's a pretty cool little thing. Now when we found the little girl hiding under the baby bed, I was so mad. I was like, oh my goodness, they better get on to her. And they kind of did. They was just like, you can't do that. Like, we were literally, it's bamboo. Yes. Oh my gosh, it's bamboo. It's not sugarcane. But yeah, it was bamboo. That's what was behind my house. And that's what they would go play in. So anyways, yeah. So they got on to her. They told her, like, don't you dare hide. Because I went around my house yelling for her. Like, I was, I didn't just go in the room and not see her and then assume she went home. I looked for her. When my husband and I were looking for her Looking for our first house. The hidden room was a deal breaker. Never again. I like our little hidden thing that we have. All this information is making me nervous since I'm still waiting my foster adoption child. I'll be a first time mom. You will be an awesome mom, Lacey. Trust me. You know, um, what happened to the 6 month old? Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what happened to the 6 month old. Lacey, let me tell you, there will be scary times. No doubt, 1,000%. But there will also be some of the best times of your life come from having kids. Like my kids, the joy I feel from them is I've never experienced it. You know what I'm saying? Like watching, hearing them say "mama" for the first time, or like when like a while ago when Coco came and like just kind of laid in my arms. It's literally the best feeling you will get. Allegedly went missing from her crib, but we think that the father had something to do with it. Knows something. It's a big long story. Was that story in the news? Because it seems like I've heard something like that. Now, where I live, let me tell you about what happened where I live. Okay? So, where I live, there was this girl that had a baby. She was younger. She had an addiction with drugs, but she supposedly gotten clean. Um, she was dating another girl, and this happened maybe like a year ago, maybe not even a year ago. So I remember finding out. I remember like my friend calling me saying, "Oh my God, did you see so and so's baby went missing?" And I was like, "No, what do you mean?" So this was the story. The mother calls the police and says, "My baby is missing." I was at home, got a knock on the door. I opened the door. There was two men in masks that maced me. I ran out of the house. They ran into the house. I ran like she lived in a trailer park. She said she ran around the trailer park a little bit, like um, waiting for the masked men to like leave or whatever. And she finally like went back into her house, and her baby was gone. And her baby was like a year old maybe. So that was her story. Was that her baby was kidnapped because two masked men knocked on her door. She opened the door. They sprayed her with mace. She takes off running. When she comes back home, the baby's missing. Um, about 2 hours after she calls the police and reports this, just about 2 miles from her house, a lady calls the cops and says, "Hey, some kids started a fire not too far from my house, and I'm concerned because there's like a burn ban going on, and like, I don't want it to spread." Okay, hold on. I don't want it to spread. And so the fire department goes there to put out the fire. It was the baby. That's what was on fire in the bushes. It was the 1 year old baby. So what happened was the girlfriend and the girl planned for this to happen. The girlfriend who worked at the IHOP, the local IHOP, before she went to work, she took the baby like 2 miles down the road, sprayed gasoline on the baby, and lit the baby on fire. And then she went to work at IHOP. And after she done it, she let the mom know it's done. So the mom called the cops and reported that someone had stole the baby. Um, Now, before they figured out that it was the mom and the girlfriend, they found the baby. They tried to save the baby, but they didn't. The baby died. Well, they rushed the baby to the hospital. They contact the mom, say, we found your baby. The baby's on the way to the hospital. And they tell the mom what happened. So the mom actually posts on Facebook, please be in prayer for baby Liam. I think his name was Liam. Or Levi. Um, he is on life support. Isn't looking like he's going to make it. That's literally like what the mom posted. Not like, oh my God, you guys. Please. Like, it was just like, keep him in your prayers. He's on life support. Isn't looking like he's going to make it. It was like 2 days before they figured out that it was the mom and the girlfriend. So they, the baby ends up dying. She makes the post. I lost my baby today, you know. What happens is they find out, you know, that she's dating this girl that has a record. They bring the girlfriend in, and the girlfriend ends up admitting to what happened. And the girlfriend tells, like, she wanted me to do this. So they both go to jail. I think the death penalty is up on the table for one of them. I don't remember, but when I had to go to child support court a while back, me and Paris and Kay's dad was sitting in the little room, and there was like a big commotion outside the little courtroom. And I look out the door, and she was walking into the big courtroom. It was her that day that I was there for child support. She was there for her arraignment. I think that's what it was. And I remember seeing her walk by in an orange suit with, you know, handcuffed. And I remember being like, oh my God, that's her. And Harrison Kane's dad was like, that's who? And I was like, that's her, the girl. And he was like, oh my goodness, are you serious? And then the next day they had her picture blasted like all over the local newspapers, all over like social media, where when they actually, the media like took pictures of her coming back out of court that day. And she had like 3 security guards with her. She was like shackled, and it was horrible. It was horrible. They said that the fire department, the guys for the fire department that found the baby, had to like seek counseling after that because it was so like traumatizing for them. But I'm going to get off here. It's like 12:36 here. And the reason I kind of stopped reading the book was because my throat's hurting from talking so much. So thank you to everyone that tuned in. If you guys don't mind, on your way out, give this video a thumbs up. I will try. Do you guys want me to do more of the book tomorrow, or will you guys like for just like a story time Q&A type thing tomorrow? You guys can let me know. Maybe I'll do a poll on the community page, on the community tab of my YouTube channel. I feel like I don't get to read the book enough as much as I want to. So you guys let me know. We'll probably do the book some more, just so we can try to get through it. I don't know how many chapters it is, but we are on chapter 16. So, and it's taking us some time, so we'll try to just get through the book, and then we'll have more time for like, you know, Q&A, story time, things like that. But thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up on your way out. And until tomorrow, goodbye, everyone.